Good morning, folks. How are we all today? I hope we're well. Let's have a wee look and see who's in, shall we? Anna Chisholm, Eddie Wolfie, Hootsman, Rosie McGregor, Stephen Bankier, Kirsty Hamill, hi Lorraine Logue that is, Rosie McGregor, I think we've had you already, Rosie, Jeanette Gofillan, the other Davy, Robert McInnes, Barbara Lansborough, Scott, it's a miserable morning in Lanark, is it? Alan Arnott, Leapshin, Rosie, John O'Rourke, Jamie Dodger, windy in Edinburgh, overcast and windy, very nice. I think that's us go, everybody so far. 79 in. Good morning, Christina. First one in the door this morning. Right, back down the way. Morning, Neil. Morning, June. Morning, Mark. Stephen. Oh, numbers are climbing nicely, folks, so let's get this one underway, shall we? And by God, there's some good stuff in the papers today. Some really good stuff. And some of it actually gives us an inkling into the balmy thinking of the people who live in the country next door. But we'll get there. Right, anyway, let's get on with it. Andy Truck Davey at the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is 13 degrees currently, quite warm. It's overcast, but dry. There is no rain in the forecast, so it will definitely bloody rain. Humidity is at 94%. Wind speed 23 to 43 kilometres an hour, or 14 to 27 miles per hour. And the all money and the pollen count is low. The main allergen this time is grass. Okay. Right, morning, well, morning, Shifty McGrifty. Anyway, let's get this one underway. Well, we first up this morning is the Rancid, and it goes on. Kate tells trial of missing daughter's anguish. I just want Maddie back. Tot's mum. Relives stalker ordeal. Now, this is back to the Maddie McCann story, which has been on for a couple of decades now. In this stalker case, apparently a young lady was claiming to be Maddie and has been stalking the McCanns after a DNA test was taken and it was proven that she wasn't the McCann's daughter. Anyway, she's up on trial. So that's the story in the Record this morning. It's also the story in the Scum this morning. And its headline is, accused said she was her girl. I want Maddie back, calling me mum. Apparently Kate McCann wants her daughter back, calling her mum. This one stinks to high heavens, folks. Now, I don't know the truth of it. But what I don't understand was why the McCanns weren't prosecuted for neglect. They went for a bevy and left their daughter and another child alone in a hotel bedroom just to save a couple of quid on the babysitting service. Now, I'm sorry their daughter was abducted or whatever happened to her, but the two of them have got to bear some of the responsibility. And yet they never were held to account for that. Never. Apparently being a doctor means that you're above neglect. But to me, going for a bevy and leaving your toddler in a hotel room on the Todd is not on. Oh, hi Charlie Cat. Sorry boy, I'm working, you can't go on my lap now. Right, next up we've got the Metro. So let's put the Metro up. It's on the same story. Here we go. The Metro. And this is my Maddie hoax agony. Do you know, folks, I just cannot be arsed with this story. It said the parents should have been prosecuted for neglect and money. They say, I'm sorry that somebody snatched a toddler apparently, but they have to bear some responsibility, and they never have. Never have. So I can't be arsed with this story at all. So that's a Metro. Let's get shot at. Next up, we've got the Herald. The Herald's got a crank headline. Love this one. Absolutely love this headline. Let's bring it up. Private schools see intake drop in wake of vindictive VAT move. Vindictive. Vindictive. It shows you the reversion to paying fucking tax, these people. Apparently paying tax on your child's education is vindictive when you don't have to pay any more than your income tax to get your child educated. These people pay a premium to give their kids a leg up. You want to sort out inequality? Shut the fucking private education system down. Do away with the old boys tie network and give all the kids a fair crack at the whip. So private school fees or private school intake drops by 1,000. That means 1,000 more into public education. That'll help level up the playing field a wee bit, eh? No much, but a bit. As for vindictive fat move, vindictive fuck all. If the service that we lay on for you is not good enough for your child, well, you'll pay a fucking premium. Plus tax. That's how I feel about the old boys network and the private school network. It's just a case of people with a wee bit more money buying power and influence for their children with the right fucking school tie. On a look, Indy. Next up, Scotsman. Scotsman's on the same story. Private school rolls dropped by 1,000 pupils. Vindictive policy of VAT on fees will leave taxpayers to foot the bill. That's right. That's how it's supposed to work. We pay tax and the tax provides services. And we'll get more of that shortly. But we'll leave taxpayers paying. We're already paying for the education system. The people who send their kids to private school and pay fees have already paid for the state education system through their tax. So, fucking nonsense. Just shut them all down. Give all the kids a level playing field. And let a meritocracy grow out of it. Silly fuckingness. Just shut the old school network down. Give all the children a fair crack at the whip. Right then, next up we have the right wing loaning rag. I believe it is. Let's have a look. Is it the Fail or is it the Express? It's the Express. Here we go. Scrap ECHR is not far right, it's just right. Finlay blast Nats on illegal immigration. Now, what is it to say about this right-wing loony rag? The Express and that headline. Well, it's pure propaganda. Try to convince the Scots to vote against their own interests, the way that these papers influence the English people to vote against their own interests repeatedly. Remember, before it was Europe's fault that it was a mess. Now it's the European Court on Human Rights. This is fucking our Convention on Human Rights, which is the problem. No, the problem was bad fucking management in the shithole called Westminster. But Finlay blast Nats on illegal immigration. That's where we get to know it's just propaganda and trying to sell us stupidity, the way they sell it to the people of England and Wales. Because immigration's reserved. Why would Finlay be blasting the SNP own something that they have no control over? He wouldn't be, would he? No, unless it was fucking propaganda. Either that, Russell Finlay's too fucking thick to know that immigration's reserved. Oh, and by the way, Russell, if you're watching, there is no such thing as illegal migration. None. You don't get illegal people. You might want to call it illegal, you might want to call it irregular, but it's no. It's normal. People have been moving about this planet since the species stood up on two fucking legs. Mental. The same rag in England is going on stamp duty. We'll get there in a minute. So up here they're peddling propaganda to try and get us to vote against our own interests. Down that road, they're talking about tax. Oh dear. Stupid as stupid fucking does. Right, let's move on. Next up, we've got the National. And the National has, actually, the National's got, something's changed in the air, folks. Maybe it's just because of an election coming. But a fresh start, Swinney unveils indie plan and tells us we could all be £10,200 better off after independence. Now, where did John get that figure from? Well, what they did was they did a study in comparable nations of our size and looked at how much better off they are, and then factored in Scotland's vast resources, which most of these other small independent nations do not have. That's where the number comes from. Would we be £10,200 better off? I doubt I would be, but the generation after me, definitely. Definitely. Once the infrastructure estate is completed and most of it's already in place, then there would be no costs except for what we spend on public services. And public services is where we're going next. As we get into the English rags once more, which are printed here and passed off as a Scottish publication. What's interesting is it shows how ignorant they are of Scotland. And it just shows you how stupid they are as a whole. And I'm sorry, England, but I'm going to have to explain some hard facts to you the way I had to explain some hard facts to you about your constitutional arrangement, where you people think you have sovereignty when you live in a monarchy. Well, now you're about to be educated on how public services are provided. As the next headline should read differently from what it does read. But anyway, we'll give you it. Next up, we've got the other loony rag, the Daily Fail. And what's it go? It's got where the Express has got on its front page in England. So shall we show you? Here we go. Now, this isn't even relevant to Scotland. This is how little they know. Kemi fires up Tories with pledge to scrap hated property tax. Let me rewrite that headline for the people in England. Kemi fires up Tories with pledge to scrap public services en masse. Because what the people of England don't seem to be able to do is work out, thanks Stephen, is work out that paying tax is how they pay for their public fucking services. Thanks, Andy Scott Bryan. So here we're talking about Kemi Badenoch. I looked these numbers up. Kemi Badenoch is talking about taking 13.9 billion quid on average per year out of the public purse, meaning that the people in England's public services would be further degraded by 13.9 billion pounds. And there's already a 50 billion pound black hole, allegedly. So what Kimmy's actually doing is appealing to the base needs of the greedy, which seems to be almost everybody doing that road, while denying those in need necessary public services. Because if you take 13.9 billion out of the public purse, then you can kiss your National Health Service goodbye, or a huge swathe of it. Or you can kiss a huge swathe of your education system goodbye. You can see the demise of social services. You don't have social care. 13.9 billion to be taken out of the public purse by this fucking idiot Tory would see crippling effect on any form of public services left down that road. Now, why the English people don't seem to realise that paying fucking tax is a good thing and it provides their public services, I don't know. But what they do like to do is moan about the fucking public services. Well, guess what, England? You want decent public services? Pay your fucking tax! Just pay your tax. And stop these arsehole politicians convincing you to vandalise your own services. You're right complaining about how bad your public services are. Well, the reason is because these fucking arseholes don't want to pay tax. In fact, you all seem to have a fucking aversion for tax. Did nobody ever say you didn't explain how the public services are financed? For fuck's sake. And you're right, class action. At this point in time, stupid is as stupid does. England as England does. How they cannot manage to work out that taxation's what's paying for the public services, the ones they moan about, no being good enough, while moaning about paying their fucking taxes. Honesty fuck. That headline should say, Kemi Bad Enoch intends to fuck over public services further so that our rich chums don't need to pay any tax. While food banks proliferate, NHS falls in its arse, social care doesn't exist. And they're already paying for their fucking NHS services. 10 quid for a prescription. Whatever the fuck it costs for eye tests, dental. Fuck's sake. See, stupid is as stupid fucking does. And stupid is when you soak up shit like this and think you're going to gain something. You're gaining nothing. You're losing the services you require for life. Fucking idiots. These are the same people that convinced you to sell off your water companies and pump your rivers full of shite. Fucking stupid people. Here we go, next up we have the eye, and it's on the same story. Bad Enoch's move to scrap property tax piles pressure on Reeves's budget. Not fucking Disney. Bad Enoch's nowhere near the levels of power yet. And probably never fucking will be. Although, with crap like that, well, no explaining to the people of England that when she does that, she's going to fuck over your public services. You know, with that sort of pitch to the public, she might just make it into office. Because then they're too daft to link taxation and public services. Oh dear. Guess I'll not be doing well in England today. I don't care, really. I'm fed up fucking looking at their stupidity. I really am. Moan about the public services but don't want to pay their fucking taxes. Could they make it up? Next up after the I. It's the National next. Oh, it's the Times. Okay, let's see what Times has got for us. Bad Enoch builds case to abolish stamp duty. Let me fucking fix that headline too. Bad Enoch builds case to abolish public services. Fuck off, stupid! You're right, LA Chaos. When did this become a good strategy to get elected? To convince people to vote against their own fucking interest? Well, it's been going on down that road for quite a while, actually. While we were building a fairer, more progressive tax system, you people have been cutting yourselves across the fucking wrist. You couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. Bad Enoch builds case to abolish public services. That's what that should read. Can they not make the link between taxation and services? 13.9 billion of a black hole that would create all on its own. That's how much the Treasury takes in stamp duty in England and Wales. But why this is a headline in Scotland, I don't fucking know. We don't pay stamp duty. We have something called a property transaction tax. Very similar to stamp duty, but it's not the same. And it doesn't get paid to the Treasury. It gets paid to the Scottish Government. It's one of the taxes that actually stays here in Scotland. So why this story is in our papers? Because it definitely says the Times, Scotland there. Why that's in our papers, I don't know. Are they trying to convince us to follow suit and slash and burn our own public fucking services? Good luck with that one, Times. Okay, I think next up we'll get the Tory graph. Aye, the Tory graph. And it's on the same fucking rubbish, actually. But we are going to ignore the same rubbish because in the picture there it tells us about Bad Enoch wanting to slash public services by cutting stamp duty. But the main one there says case challenges Starmer over China. And this is the news that ex-chief civil servant Simon Case is questioning Keir Starmer on the collapse of the China espionage trial. But the truth is, Simon Case is no challenging Starmer or fuck all. Simon Chase is a retired ex-civil servant. He's got no say, no influence. So why that's a headline in the Telegraph, I have absolutely no fucking idea. None. But as I say, once again, the main headline, Bad Enoch plans to slash public services by killing stamp duty and taking 13.9 billion out of England and Wales's pocket. Okay. Right. For some reason, I don't seem to have a national this morning. I want to go and get it. I'll stop sharing that. I'll go and grab a national, folks. A wee second. Here we go. Right, then next up we'll get a national. A fresh start, Swinney unveils indie plan, Scottish families could be... Oh, I think I've already covered this. What am I talking about? I mean, it's nice to see John pushing it, but until we get a root out, you know, a fresh start for indie. Aye, get the band back together. But is the pressure going to help? Is it? Or is he going to get confident enough to tell them to go and fuck themselves while doing it anyway? Anyway, let's look. Let's see what the Guardian's got for us this morning. The Guardian has ministers commit to overhaul of licensing law and push for growth. Once again, we're in the stupid is as stupid does realm. Productivity in the UK is already low. And they want to extend licensing laws so that the working classes can get pissed all night and no go to work the next morning. A push for growth. A push for growth. Get people that pissed with absenteeism and the workforce will go through the fucking roof. They haven't got a clue, have they? Not a fucking Scooby. Let's just get all the workforce pissed for longer each day. People are already turning more to drinking drugs because of the depressing state of things. Is that fucking, whatever his name is down there in the green says, there is no hope in England. None. No hope. At this point in time, England is a place of abject misery and despair. And the standard of leadership they have is atrocious. The propaganda that has them voting against their own interests is fucking atrocious. It even worked here in the last election. Vote Labour to get rid of Tory. It'll never work again. But it did work here. But this is constantly being pushed at these people. And the idea that getting people drunk is going to boost growth is the stupidest fucking thing. No, it's no. No, it's no. It's not the stupidest fucking thing I've heard come out of England. It's no. Because right now I've seen a lot of stupid shit come out of that border. Or go on over that border. Brexit, constant voting for the Tories. Screaming about bad public services while being averse to paying tax. Fucking you couldn't make it up. You really couldn't make it up. You know, and wealth inequality, folks, is the scourge of these islands. We can even pinpoint when it started. Or when the mass transfer of wealth started. No, when inequality itself started, but when the mass transfer of wealth started, we can even pinpoint it to Tony Blair's government, the minimum wage, the heist that was transferring responsibility for paying the lowest paid from the company owners to the taxpayer. Fucking stroke of genius. Heist and a half. Wow. Absolutely fucking mental. You know, and wealth inequality has blossomed ever since, as the employer is no longer responsible for making sure his employee has a decent wage. That's in the hands of the taxpayer. Tax credit system, anyone? Greatest heist ever. Biggest transfer of wealth that ever happened. And if you track the records, that's when wealth inequality started to blossom. You could not make it up. Oh, that's coming next Sunday, Scott Brian. I know that. The Radon pensions. You could not make it up. Those of us who have been around to observe it, that means all yous in the audience, we're all flabbergasted while we're watching and doing that fucking road. And we've all been horrified since Tony Blair. We realised what the fuck it was he was doing. Right, let's see what the stars go for us today, shall we? Or have we got anything else in the middle? No, it's the star. So the star's actually got the only thing that was noteworthy to come out of that Tory party conference. And I mean that. So let's get it up. Fucking bad enough, take 13.9 billion more out of public services, daft wench. Think anybody would vote for that? I guess they would. Right, anyway, the star has I'm the Tall Guy with Kemi Badenoch. And that's 22-year-old student Jamie McAlpine, who, of course, is the only thing of note at the Tory party conference because he's fucking difficult to miss at 7'2" tall. Anyway, the 7'2" tall Tory, Jamie McAlpine, 22, has ambitions to be the Prime Minister of England. But to be fair, that young fella is the only thing worth fucking noticing at the Tory party conference. And the reason, well, he's hard to fucking miss at 7'2". Sometimes a star gets it right. You know, he's a tall guy. That's hard to refute when you're 7'2". The only honest fucking statement in every one of their rags a day. Oh dear. I did say it was going to be a good one today, didn't I? But stupid is as stupid does. And I'm afraid our neighbours continue to do what's stupid. There doesn't seem to be any way of talking common sense in them. None. And will they vote for Badenoch? Or Badenoch? And to slash their own public services even more? I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them. After all, they voted for Brexit. They've repeatedly voted for Tories against their own interest. But saying that, since Blair have all been fucking Tories, so what's the difference? Right, that's it for this morning. We'll be back this afternoon at 4 o'clock, where we'll discuss what else is going on in these islands and further afield, maybe, if we get round to it. Because as the election's coming, we're back on the indie trail, apparently. Well, David and I will probably put a fair bit of time in talking about that. Will we talk about Badenoch and the stupidness of our tax cuts for the rich? I don't know. I really don't. We'll see what else is there to talk about. Okay, but we'll see you at 4 o'clock. We'll have some sort of presentation for you then. Bye for now.